Hello everyone, welcome back to YK Reviews, welcome back to another weekly entertainment news video as we're going to be talking about some interesting / worrying updates when it comes to like Avengers 5. We've got more Knives Out casting updates, so let's dive right into it. Now, before we get started in terms of all the news stories here, if you aren't aware, I've been doing this alphabet challenge in which every single letter I'm talking about my favorite movies, going from the letter A all the way to the letter Z. I'm also doing community post voting polls on the community tab, so if you want to go ahead and vote for one of your favorite movies, or if it's not on the list, you can let me know in the comments. But definitely go check out the shorts, definitely go vote in the community tab so that we can try to see what the most popular movie is in every single letter of the alphabet. And also, if you're new to the channel, we're so close to reaching 500 subscribers, so if you do like this type of content, we do movie reviews, TV series. I'm going to be posting my Bad Boys 4 review along with a tier ranking for all the Bad Boys movies, so we do a whole bunch of stuff like that. So if you like that type of content, do consider hitting that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on that. Hit the like, hit the notification, just all that YouTube stuff. But let's dive right into it with the first trailer that I want to talk about, which is called The Killer's Game, starring Dave Bautista. They mentioned this at CinemaCon a couple of months back, but it's basically about an assassin or a hitman who goes to see his doctor, where the doctor tells him that he's dying, so he ends up putting a hit out on himself, only to realize that the doctor made a mistake and that he's not actually dying. So he's now trying to avoid all these assassins that are trying to go out for him. And there is a great cast in this. You've got Terry Crews, you've got Dave Bautista, you've got Sophia Boutella, who's in Rebel Moon, you've also got Tom Clementi, who plays Mantis in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. From the premise to the cast, this movie looks so entertaining. My only gripe is that with this trailer, and this is a problem I have with so many trailers, is that they revealed so much in the movie. So if you are going to watch the trailer, just be careful because they do reveal quite a bit. But in terms of the trailer, it does look like a fun movie, it does look entertaining, so I am going to be checking this out. So if you've seen the trailer or you hear this premise, what are your thoughts? Will you be checking it out? Let me know down in the comment section below. But for the next trailer, I made a shorts about this, the Alien Romulus trailer. This looks absolutely fantastic, from just the visual style to like the silence where nobody can hear you scream in space, and just the tone of the trailer, the practical effects that you get in the trailer as well. This looks like, after Deadpool and Wolverine, the movie of the summer, the blockbuster movie, the one to be checking out. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen my shorts, but my favorite movie from the letter A would be Aliens, the very first one, and this one just gets me more excited and gets me more pumped to be checking it out. I'm loving what they're doing, so this trailer has got me hooked. I'm going to be checking it out. So if you've seen the trailer, let me know your thoughts for that one in the comment section down below. Will you be checking it out? Will you give it a miss? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. And then for the final trailer we're going to be talking about, once again I made a shorts about this, would be the Venom Last Dance trailer. Now with this one, it looks like it's going to be one of the better movies of the whole Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe, although there just seems like a lot of Sony inconsistency. Like, you've got the actor who's playing the Lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man movie. We don't know if he's going to be playing Dr. Connors or if it's a different character. You see a little boy in there, so I don't know if that's going to be Peter Parker because of the rumors speculating about the plot of the movie. You've also got the bar sequence that there's just so much confusion on it, whether it's actually them retconning the post-credit scene from Spider-Man No Way Home, or if this is just Tom Hardy's Venom leaving symbiotes everywhere as he's getting chased from the army. There's just a lot of confusion, and with these trailers, it's got a lot of Sonyism in there. Like, you look at the Morbius trailers where you have all those Spider-Man hints, but then none of it shows up in the trailer. So while the movie does look interesting, it looks decent enough, I have low expectations. I'm going in there with low expectations, especially when they crashed and burned with Madam Web, with Morbius. I wasn't a huge fan of Venom 2. I prefer Venom 1 over Venom 2, but even then, there's just not really that much in terms of expectation for it. But you see the trailer, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section below when it comes to Venom 3, the final movie of the trilogy. Will you be checking it out? Did the trailer hit for you? Let me know down below. Okay, now for the first news story we're going to be talking about here is we've got an announcement about a new Hunger Games movie. So coming from the Variety, confirming here that the new Hunger Games prequel movie based on Susan Collins' next novel is going to be set in 2026. This is basically confirming that this movie is going to be taking place 40 years after the Ballad of Songbirds and Snake, and it's going to be following the second quarter Quill, won by Haymitch, played by Woody Harrelson, and it's coming out in 2026. I'll be completely honest with you, I've not seen any of the Hunger Game movies. I've not seen even the one that came out last year. I do hear good things about it, but I've just never been into the Hunger Games movies. I am definitely curious to be checking it out because, like I said, I've heard some decent things about these movies, but I was honestly not expecting another movie so soon. So again, this one coming out literally in 2 years' time, and it's going to be like another prequel, but it's also a movie set after 40 years from the movie that came out last year. I may not be the one to be talking about this. I may not be the one that will give you you all the ins and out of this franchise, of this movies. But you see this and you hear this, what are your thoughts about it? For those of you that have seen the movies, does this excite you? Will you be wanting to check this out? What are your thoughts about the time period where this is taking place? I'm very curious about it. Let me know in the comment section down below for this. Okay, now for the next news story, speaking of Hunger Games, this is coming from the Deadline saying here that the Hunger Games star Tom Blythe joins Sophie Wilde in a new Regency Watchdog adaptations. Now this is a video game adaptation from Ubisoft. I'll be honest, I've not played this game as well. I've just never got into these games. I've seen people play it. It's a game that I've just personally never got into. Maybe I need to give it a chance, but I don't know anybody that actually does play the game, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm curious about who Tom Blythe will be playing along with Sophie Wilde and how they're going to be adapting this. But if you're like me and you don't know what the Watch Dogs is or what the game is about, basically it's confirming here the Watch Dogs series video game from Ubisoft is an immersive players in the world of skilled hackers who use technology to combat oppressive forces controlling major cities across the world. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out on this one. I actually do want to check it out just to see the experience, because like similar with Fallout, I've never played the Fallout games, but after watching this series, it got me wanting to play the game. So it might be the same situation with this. But you see this and you hear this, what are your thoughts? For those of you that do play the game, would you be excited for a live action adaptation? Do you not want them to make this whatsoever? Let me know down in the comment section below. And another one that we are getting here is we have got confirmation that there's going to be a Ghost of Tsushima live action movie that's going to be coming out. Would have preferred it being a series rather than a movie, but we are getting confirmation that there is going to be a live action Ghost of Tsushima game. Oh, fantastic game if you haven't played it. But we are getting reported rumors about who's going to be in talks for the role. So coming from Daniel RPK, you can take this with a grain of salt. He is a reliable scooper, but it's confirming here that Hiroyuki Sanada is in talks to be playing the role for the live action Ghost of Tsushima. Now, when I saw this, I was immediately hooked and excited. If you haven't heard of him, he's a fantastic actor. He was recently in the Shogun TV series, which if you haven't checked that out, highly recommend. One of the best TV shows of the year. And he's been in a lot of movies and shows. A fantastic actor who would be so well casted for the Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm hoping this is real. I'm hoping this is the case and he is signed on, because this would elevate the movie even more, get my excitement level up even more for this, because I love him as an actor. So you see this, you hear this, what are your thoughts? A, in terms of the casting, and B, in terms of Ghost of Tsushima, would you be wanting to see a live action movie? Are you not at all interested in that? Let me know down in the comment section below for this. Okay, now for the next news story, this one I was not expecting whatsoever, but we've got an announcement about a Creep TV series. So basically coming from Variety, confirming here that Creep Mark Duplass to adapt his Netflix horror movie into a TV series. So first of all, in terms of, if you've never heard about Creep, I highly recommend these movies. They've done 2 movies, basically about this guy who gets these people to come over and record him. And I guess, spoiler alert, but he ends up killing them at the end. But it's just like a really interesting movie to watch this main character just going about how he is, how his persona is on camera. It's a really great watch. So hearing this, not expecting this whatsoever, but basically what the show is going to be about, as per the description here, saying the series is based on a collection of videotapes in the secret vault of the world's deadliest and most socially uncomfortable serial killer, who hires his victim to film him for the day under false pretenses. Each episode exposes a new victim from one of the fabled Creep tales, and this just gets me even more excited. Like this has been forever since I've seen like anything related to Creep. Like it shows in the article that the Creep movie came out 2014, then the sequel came out in 2017, so it's been 7 years since we got anything related to Creep. And my god, this just gets me more interesting, because if you've seen the movies, there's tapes that you see in the background. So this is basically sort of like an episodic of every single tape. You're going to get to see multiple different victims, whether they survive, whether they get killed off. This just makes it for a really interesting watch that I'm definitely going to be checking out when this comes out. This is probably one I was not expecting, but one I'm so happy to hear is going to be happening. So if you've seen this and you hear this, what are your thoughts? A, if you've seen the movies, what are your thoughts about the movies? I'm very curious. And B, in terms of this show, will you be checking it out? Does this get you excited? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, speaking of horror series, we've also got another one coming out here. So coming from the Hollywood Reporter, showing here that the Hostel TV series starring Paul Giamatti is in the works, with Eli Ross, Chris Briggs, Mike Fleece will be returning to the franchise with an elevated thriller. So basically the Hostel movie is going to be turning into a series similar with Creep, with Paul Giamatti in the role here. So you've got Eli Roth, who directed Thanksgiving, a movie I actually was thoroughly surprised at how much I enjoyed it. And now you're getting this. So it's basically being described as an elevated thriller that's also a reinvention of the horror franchise that launched in 2006 and spawned 2 sequels. And if you're not aware about what the movie was about, basically the original movie, it revolved around 3 backpackers who were heading to a Slovak city that promised to meet their hedonistic expectations with no idea of the hell that awaited them. And I gotta say, that movie really is an intense watch and so enjoyable. Like the first movie, I honestly don't remember if I've seen the 2 sequels, but the first movie really does stand out. And so with this going to be like a TV series adaptation of it, I really am excited about this. So you've got like a Creep TV series, you've got the Hostel TV series, 2 really good movies that are really interesting to watch turned into a TV series that have got some really good casting in there as well, like Paul Giamatti going from the Holdovers to the Hostel. This is one to definitely keep an eye out on. So again, you see this and you hear this. What are your thoughts? Will you be checking it out? Will you be giving it a miss? What is your excitement level for this? Let me know down below. Okay, now for the next news story, we've got an update when it comes to like the Predator/Prey movies. So coming from the deadline here, it's saying that Badlands' Ellie Fanning is being eyed to star in the new standalone Predator pick from the 20th Century and Dan Trachtenberg. So again, they are going to be making the sequel to Prey, so that's also been confirmed, but they're also going to be making a standalone Predator movie. So again, this is not concrete because in the article it is saying that here, like sources close to the deadline saying that Ellie Fanning is in negotiation to star in the film with Trachtenberg directing, with plot details being kept under wraps, other than that it will feature everyone's favourite extraterrestrial big game hunter. Now I'll be honest, when it comes to like the actress, I've not seen her in any previous movies or shows, so I'm really not familiar with her. But for me, what stands out in the article is that the fact that they are continuing with this, that it is going to be like a standalone. So we also got confirmation too that Amber Midthunder is going to be potentially returning to star in Prey sequel, so like the Prey 2 movie, but with also this standalone movie. But I'm just happy we're getting 2 separate projects. We're getting Predator. Like, I really enjoyed the Prey movie. I've done a review for it. You can go check it out on my channel. But if you haven't seen the Prey movie, highly recommend it. Really, it's a good watch. And we're getting a Predator now, a Prey movie. So things are definitely happening. It's still happening. So you see this and you hear this. What are your thoughts? A, about the actress potentially starring in the movie, and what your thoughts are about having the Predator standalone movie along with a Prey sequel coming out. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Because for the next news story, we got an update when it comes to like the Knives Out casting. Now I mentioned this last week, there were so many casting updates when it comes to Knives Out, and I did mention that it's probably not the last of it. Again, we've got confirmation here saying that Josh Brolin, Thanos himself, along with Cable, has been cast in Knives Out 3, so Wake Up Dead Man Knives Out Mystery. We've got Josh Brolin being casted in there along with Thomas Hayden Church. So Sandman and Thanos have joined the cast of Knives Out 3. Honestly, this is just turning into one incredible cast. You've got, from the top of my head, if I remember correctly, you've got Jeremy Renner in there, you've got Mila Kunis in there. We've also got confirmation that Daryl McCormack has been cast in there, plus Kerry Washington, Glenn Close, Daniel Craig, and just the list goes on and on. So a huge star-studded cast for this movie that I'm genuinely excited about. If you haven't seen the first 2 Knives Out movies, honestly, highly recommend. Some great movies. First one I prefer over the second one, just ever so slightly, but a really good movie to check out. So you hear these casting, what are your thoughts about it? Do you think you'll be checking it out? Are you excited about the cast? Who do you think they'll cast even more? Let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, so for the next news story, we've got some update when it comes to The Last of Us, so season 2, in terms of the episodes and what's going to be happening here. So coming from the deadline, they have confirmed The Last of Us season 2 episode count revealed, as Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann explain their decisions and teases the additional season here. So in the article it's showing here, when season 2 finally does arrive in 2025, it will be shorter than season 1, consisting of 7 episodes. But the good news is that a potential 3rd season will be significantly larger and possibly bigger in scope. There could very well be a season 4 coming behind it, according to this series co-creators, executive producers, showrunners and directors Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann. Plus, one of the season 2 episodes will be quite big in length. Now this kind of basically confirms that season 2 or part 2 of the video game is definitely going to be split up because it's such a big game and a lot happened in there. One thing I won't spoil anything, but it looks like season 2, the 7 episodes, is going to be focusing on the first part of the game, and then it's probably going to end with that big shocking reveal, twist, mistake, whatever you want to call it. Again, if you haven't played the game, I'm not going to go into spoilers, but that's most likely what's going to happen towards the end of that, because it's 7 episodes, and then season 3 is probably going to be the continuation of the part 2 game, with certain characters going after other certain characters. Again, not spoiling it, but if you know, you know. So this is basically just kind of confirming it here. So part 2, the video game part 2, is definitely going to be split. confirming here that they're going to be doing a season 3, which is probably going to be part 2 of the game, and then also a season 4. That I'm very interested about, because with part 2 of the game, it is such a large scope. If that's going to be all of season 3, what are they going to be doing for season 4, potentially the future of the franchise? Or if part 2 is going to be season 2, season 3 and season 4, that's going to be very large. But if they're going to keep it at 7 episodes, then it kind of makes sense. But I'm definitely curious. I'm really curious about if the finale of season 2 is what's going to be that twist, reveal, shock, mistake, whatever you're going to call it, that happened in part 2. I'm really curious to see the reaction for that. That's one I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out on. But you see this and you hear this, what are your thoughts? Do you think I'm right, or do you have other theories and speculation that of the reason for the shorter episodes? Let me know all of that down in the comment section below. But we move on to DC side of things now, because we have got casting updates when it comes to like the Superman movie. So coming from the Hollywood Reporter, confirming here that James Gunn's Superman adds Saturday Night Live actor Beckett into the movie here. Now, it was later confirmed that he is going to be playing a Daily Planet reporter, Steve Lombard. He's a famous reporter in the well, not famous, but he's always there when it comes to like Superman. So you've got him in Man of Steel. He's currently in the My Adventures with Superman, a great show that I'm really enjoying. So basically confirming here, in terms of the actor himself, I'll be honest, I've not seen him before in any previous roles, but I've been seeing a lot of happiness, a lot of praise when it comes to this casting choice. So this movie is just getting more stacked with these casting, with these actors. It's very interesting that, because they are filming the movie right now, that they've added this casting here. So I don't know if it was done way beforehand and it's just being revealed now, or if they're just casting him right now and then he's going to be part of the movie. That's going to be very interesting to see. But this dynamic with him, Jimmy, Lois Lane, and how that's all going to work along with like Perry White, I'm really, really curious to see. With James Gunn, I do have high hopes with this movie. I do feel like this is going to be a really good Superman movie. I know there's a lot of doubts and a lot of worry with this because of the whole reboot, a lot of that stuff happening, but honestly, I do think this could be a really fun movie. But you see this casting, what are your thoughts about this? Let me know down in the comment section below. But for the final news story we're going to be talking about here is, honestly, I feel like a worrying update when it comes to Marvel side of things here. So we got some interesting news when it comes to Avengers 5. First of all, when it comes to like the director here, so there's been reports that Sean Levy is the top choice to direct Avengers 5, which first of all, I'm honestly not too fussed about when it comes to that. Like if Deadpool and Wolverine is a huge hit, which I think it will be, and it's a great movie, I'm honestly all on board for this. He's a great director for me personally. I really liked his movies like Real Steel, a really underrated movie that I don't feel like has been talked about enough, and would have loved a sequel to that. So again, if his movie's a good hit, like if Deadpool Wolverine, which everybody's excited about, is a great movie, I honestly wouldn't mind having him direct Avengers 5. But the worrying thing is when it comes to this movie, there's just so many conflicting reports. So Deadline did come out with an article basically confirming that the Avengers movie is going to have more than 60 characters returning to the MCU, with it being more of like an assemble feature rather than like a handful of characters leading the team, with Kang still unknown if he is going to be the main villain or not. But in terms of like the cast, so you've got apparently Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hiddleston, Simu Lee, Karen Gillan, 60 characters returning, with the villain still up in the air here. And I really don't know. Honestly, I was reading this and I'm thinking, how are you getting 60 characters? Where are you getting 60 characters from? This just feels like every single character, past, present, future, is going to be in this movie, and it just feels like a jumbled mess. With Infinity War, like you had so many characters, but it was just so perfectly balanced with these characters, everybody getting enough screen time, and the story worked for what was happening in the plot of the movie. With this one, you don't even know who the main villain is, and let alone having all these characters, which, by the way, most of these characters like Simu Lee, and nothing against these characters like She-Hulk, for example, Moon Knight, whatever, all these characters, like these newer characters, will be interacting with the previous characters like Thor, Hulk, Loki, Doctor Strange. All these characters are going to be interacting for the very first time, and I really don't know what to think and what to say with this, because it's such a worry when it comes to this update, when it comes to this movie. I want it to be good, but I feel so bad for whoever's going to be directing it. Like I said, Sean Levy, a great director, but I feel like it's just a lot to handle with so many cast members, 60 characters. This movie needs to be good, because a lot of faith has been lost with the MCU right now. And I know a lot of people are going to be enjoying Deadpool and Wolverine, but this is more of just like a nostalgia kind of movie with just like a lot of fun cameos, Easter eggs, and just seeing Deadpool and Wolverine together. That's what I feel like is going to be an enjoyable part of the movie. But with Avengers 5, like, you need to have this movie just take off, because if I'm being completely honest with you, next year when you've got like Captain America Brave New World, which is currently doing reshoots right now. Not all excited about that. You've got the Thunderbolts movie, not all excited about that. I talked about the Blade movie last week. God knows when that's going to happen. So like, none of these movies really excite me. And so this movie really does need to be a hit. So it's going to be a huge task for whoever's going to be directing this movie and how they're going to balance 60 characters with this. It's just, I'm genuinely worried about this. But you hear this. What are your thoughts about this? I'm so curious now. Are you honestly worried about this? Who do you think is going to be directing it? Who do you think is going to be returning out of these 60 characters? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. And even if you're excited or will you be checking it out when it does come out, let me know in the comment section down below. But that about wraps it up for this week's weekly entertainment news video. I want to thank you all so much for watching and thank you so much for listening. Again, if you are new to the channel, do consider hitting that subscribe button and keep an eye out because we're going to be doing the Bad Boys tier ranking video over the weekend. But this is YK Reviews. Peace.